Good evening, folks. It's 7 o'clock on a Monday night. Don't know what you're doing at home right now, but I know what I'm doing. I'm here for the soccer show. Big sports action for the next 60 minutes. All the action of week 2 of the final series. Special guests in the studio. Big competition coming up. And, of course, Shocker Miles shocking them with Shocker, as he always does. Plenty happening. Full on for the next hour. Finals action. I can hardly contain myself. Stay with us, won't you? Now look at this, good folks at home. It glistens, it gleams, it stands behind us. It's loomed behind us over the last few weeks, and it's, of course, the Champions Trophy for the Victorian Premier League. And we're only... Paul Williams, welcome back, little buddy. Paulie Williams.
See you, Blakey.
We're only a couple of weeks away from deciding the champions of Victoria, and I don't know about you, but the drama and the excitement of the finals at the weekend, it's certainly captured my interest, Paulie. I've got the hairs on the back of my neck are standing up on end. There's plenty of those too.
2 weeks to go. 2 big games from the weekend as well. It's all happening.
And it's all happening here. Soccer competition, Paulie. I know you want to talk about that.
The big soccer competition. It's the grand final junior competition for all our junior players. You're about to see 5 of the best goals from the Premier League. Pick the best 3 in order, and you could win a special VSF pack with lots of goodies and worth $250. Here come the goals now. Try and pick the best 3 out of the 5.
Cassar's got the break. He'll have to cut it back from the line again. Does so. And the man on the spot is Craig Lewis. Long ball forward by Sweden.
There's the 0055 number. It's 0055 300 99. Get your entries in and try and win that VSF pack. What a great prize it is. And
So
Blakey,
just got to remind, Paulie, the ankle biters too. Ask your mum and dad, of course, if you can ring the number, because it costs a little bit more than the average call. But, you know, don't forget, ask your parents. And that's why I do it now. I ask my folks all the time.
You're such a responsible parent, Blakey. And it's good to have you back, too, after 2 weeks in Disneyland. And we've got plenty of soccer happening on the show tonight, of course. The big game, the 2 finals games. The first one is, of course, Bulleen Lions and Sunshine George Cross.
Yes, and that's for all the pennies for both teams. The season ends here for Bulleen and Sunshine. Huge crowd yesterday down at Port Melbourne by the Bay. It was a gorgeous afternoon. Let's head down there. Join moi and John Miles for all the action of the minor semi-final, Lions against Georgies. It's the Bulleen Lions going in against the Sunshine Georgies. Curtains for one, another team lives on and walks that precipice between success and failure, the sudden death road to the grand final, and we're away to action in game 1. Magnificent crowd in at Port Melbourne's home by the Bay, John Miles, and you don't need me to tell you it's a critical game for both clubs. Season end is here for one of these 2 teams. Who's it going to be?
Sudden death. I think Sunshine Georgies might have more impetus today after the bad showing last week. And Peter Alton says he's got the walking wounded. So if it goes to extra time, I think Bulleen could run out of tickets. But if Craig Lewis clicks up front, I think that's what we're all looking for.
Oh, there's a real feel about the place, and this is a terrific ground to play. Skrvac gets under his long ball into the front half. To ground went the chef, Diorio. Furler with the coverage. That time some more heavy work. Patterson with the header away. Dale White does well to knock it off. It's Tsiakos. Big steal, though, by Melrose. Furler. Good running by Sherifovsky. Squares it, dangerous. And away finally by that man, Tom Sonsini. And Bulleen might get it on the break. They've got the numbers at 3 against 1. Dale White, look up, big Dale. He wants to go alone. Edge of the box. Lukens scores! And Furler and Lukens, there's claims of offside. Furler and Lukens, a bit of shove off the ball. And I think big Peter Lukens won't give us stuff because he's knocked it into the net, and the Bulleen Lions lead the minor semi-final by a goal to 0. Scramble inside the attacking half. Aretas. Don't waste it this time, son. Stenson. Aretas again for Cassar. He'll run the arc. No, he won't. Shorten off for Sherifovsky, the danger man. If he can unleash him. Good cross. Lewis chested down. Yes, the goal! Equaliser! And Craig Lewis, won't he love that? That's a real confidence boost. And we're all locked up in the minor semi-final, 16 and a half played. And Craig Lewis acclaims the crowd as they acclaim him to a man. Stenson.
Great switch.
For Sherifovsky, one way, then the other. H.M. Sherifovsky, he just scoots past his opponent, knocks across it, Lewis over the top! What a move. Sensational. Same combo. Sherifovsky down the left. Craig Lewis with grit and determination. Not within our line of vision at this point. We'll go with it. Deep one, penetrating, takes a bounce across the area, no one to take advantage. White back to Diorio, off the line by Cassar. Well, if he wasn't MVP before, he is now, Anthony Cassar. Another chance, boomer from Diorio, wide of the mark. But if he, as I said, John, if he wasn't MVP before Anthony Cassar, he was then. Wanted to leave it for Aretas. Not that time. Valentich the steal. Lutkins chips it straight to 3 Sunshine players. Melrose nearly makes a hash of it. Diorio goes to ground. A chance off the crossbar. That's it. Second time, and Pat Giaccherini, who has not been in it since the start of the game, turns it into showtime for number 10. And that
Sherifovsky, what a class player.
And he'll get the chance again. Left foot, right foot. Sherifovsky turns it round. A curler. Difficult. Lewis over the shoulder. More in hope than expectation, I suspect. We've seen how dangerous Bulleen have been on the break. Grab back. Sherifovsky with the header in defence. Jerry Connolly.
The other way.
Jerry Connolly saw something in the ruck of players. Taken quickly. Valentich angles it past the goalkeeper, and that might just about seal it for the Bulleen Lions. And Frank Valentich, who's had a horrendous job this afternoon trying to foil H.M. Sherifovsky, gets the ultimate revenge. Away by the Georgies. Starting to edge into last chance territory now for the Georgies. You suspect they need a goal in the next 5 or so minutes to give them, to buy themselves enough time to get back into the game. But the break's coming at the other end. The little chef takes off. Peter Diorio, the skinny little legs are thumping. Got a lot of heart.
Well, you wouldn't say there was a passenger in any of the sides, would you?
Oh, it's been a terrific final. It really has been a terrific final. And you just got to feel a little bit for the Georgies' quality side. Furler strokes it. Cassar drags himself onto the football, keeps it inside the line, goes outside his marker across the box.
Penalty.
Not clear.
Well, it's got to be a penalty.
No, he's Jerry Connolly saying it's off his chest.
Oh, that was a penalty, without a shadow of a doubt.
Robbie Furler has
hand and arm.
Robbie Furler has gone eye to eye with Jerry Connolly to argue that it came off the hands of the Bulleen player to no avail. Georgie's just got to keep their head and come again.
Well, you've got to give Sunshine Georgie's Blakey points for commitment today.
Yeah, that's just the tragedy of playing in a knockout final, because you really feel that on another day, on another occasion, it could have been Sunshine's day as Dale White gets the chance, goes one-on-one with Wardle, gets around him, the angle's too much. That would have been curtains, but Dale White Couldn't quite take advantage of him, of Wardle. But DeGlaris waits for the call, nothing happening. This gets a sight of the target. Back for Stenson. Looks up. Sherifovsky, the danger man. Valentich comes to him. Sherifovsky almost runs it to the line. Cuts back. Well done. Hooked away by Liparotti. Down for DeGlaris. Top of the box, DeGlaris. Ball gets a cannon. Liparotti's there again, the big fellow. Georgie's on the attack again. Last gasp territory. Lewis!
Oh, what a
late run. Well,
right on his head, and Jeff Over just plucked it out. He could have maybe placed it a little bit better, but great save, great stop by Jeff Over. And a good header, good ball in.
Field shot cannons into the air. Field gets the second chance with a header. Pappas. Bulleen keeping them at arm's length. They're back. Good performance from him, John.
He's done well. I was worried about that, him taking over the role off Robert Krychek.
Long ball
offside.
forward, Diorio offside.
It must have been offside.
Diorio into the net. What does it count? It does count.
Oh, you're kidding.
Well, it counts, and the little chef gets on the score sheet. Sunshine Georgies, one last roll of the dice from them. Canasula's driving run into the front half for Lewis. Onto his right boot. Standing in his way is that enormous form of Liparotti.
And he's had a great game too.
Sonsini curls around the corner for Scott Patterson. One-on-one, it's going to be 5. Patterson around the goalkeeper and scores.
5.
SP. That's 5, and that's a finals record.
And there would even half a chance that might have even been offside.
Well, I don't think it really is at all academic now. Be interested to see some of those decisions on the replay. 5-1 Lions in garbage time. And there's the final whistle. And the Bulleen Lions, under adverse circumstances, have run up a Premier League minor semi-final record with a 5-1 trouncing of the Sunshine Georgies.
Welcome to the Soccer Show, and joining us after the game from the Sunshine Georgies, Ajim Sherifovsky. Bad luck today, Ajim, and really a devastating way to end the season.
Yeah, it was pretty devastating. I mean, we started off well, had probably about 70% of the play. You know, we got one back, sort of spurred us on. A couple of bad decisions put us down a bit, and I think it eventually took its toll, and we allowed it to get to our heads, and they just ran away with it at the end.
Fairly even first half, Bulleen leading 2-1, of course, at half-time, and you found yourselves pressing for a goal in the second half, and Bulleen caught you a few times on the counter.
Yeah, well, you know, we were down 2-1, so it's no use sitting back. We thought we had to go forward and push forward as much as possible, and eventually, you know, the holes start to appear, and they did, and they scored.
Great season in general, finishing third on the ladder, but a bit disappointing in the finals campaign. Of course, that will put you in good stead for next year, looking on the positive side of things.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's always something to aim for again, you know. If you finish first, I mean, you always want to finish first again. When you finish third, you want to go a bit higher, second or first. So, you know, that'll be in the back of their minds for next year as well.
Thank you, Ajim, for joining us on the Soccer Show. Ajim Sherifovsky joining us on the Soccer Show.
So there you have it, Bulleen in an absolute canter in the end, 2-1 at half-time, and no indication there of how comfortable it would be for them in the second half. And our special guest in the studio tonight is Bulleen defender Bill Tiakis. Welcome to the show, Bill.
Yes, thank you, Cole.
And you'd obviously be delighted about today's result, but Peter Ollerton has been saying in the paper how difficult he feels it is to win the competition from finishing fourth. But what does he actually say in private to the team?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, obviously it was all written up in the media as it was going to be impossible for a fourth, fifth team in the top 5 of getting up to the finals. And but you could take it either reverse psychology or you know, whether it could be as a motive for a spur on for the rest of the guys in the team. But no, obviously we before our pre-match talks, you know, he just talks to each individual, just doing our basic, simple tasks, sticking to the game plan, and that's the way we take each week as it comes, really. So whether it takes us to the grand final, so be it.
That third goal you scored, there was some confusion over the referee's decisions and his indications on who the free kick was for. How did you see that goal?
Oh, from where I was positioned at the back line, I just obviously have seen Jerry Connolly, is it the referee?
That's right.
Yeah, obviously positioned towards Bulleen as way, and obviously on the quick thinking side of Pat Giacorini, he obviously saw the situation and waited up, and then Frank Valenti obviously did very well in seeing it as well, and he played him through and he finished it quite well.
And Frankie would have loved that, Bill, too, wouldn't he? Because he was having an interesting duel with Sherifovsky.
Yes, he was.
And perhaps Agent was getting the better of him, so what better answer than to get forward and perhaps basically clinch the game?
Yes, it was one of those. It was one of the great duels of the day, and you know, I thought Frank did very well. And obviously finishing it off would have given him a lot of satisfaction. I think it would have been memories of the 93 grand final, where he claimed he sort of made a 50-yard run to sort of on the receiving end, but I think we'll hear from it plenty on Tuesday night.
Billy, the 93 grand final team pretty much still together. You've got a couple of new faces. The little chef, Peter Diorio,
Yes,
wasn't he
he's
terrific today?
He's come on leaps and bounds actually this year, and
the Lipper?
Yes, Big Lipper Roddy. He's obviously done very well. He's been given a lot of you know, sort of individual marking sort of tasks, and he's done very well.
Well,
and,
he was terrific on Sunday.
Yes, he was, and so was Peter Dior. He's run him to the ground, and I thought that's where I think they tied out towards the end. And to his credit, even with the close attention he's obviously been receiving from the opposition, he's done credit to himself actually.
Record finals win, that 5-1 victory over Sunshine Georgie. I don't care, folks at home and bustling Billy, what Peter Ollerton says. There is a momentum building up, and you know, you're not that far away now. And I reckon too, because there's a lot of there's a little bit of friction, would you say, Billy, between you and the Port boys, and you know.
We've built up a lovely sort of rivalry the last couple of years, and I think we sort of own one from last year as well. So I think this week the guys obviously will have a very big incentive.
Well, it is a replay of last year's preliminary final.
Spot on it. I think in memory, I think we played it out at Altona.
Yes, that's
correct.
Right.
And
2 each.
And it was unfortunately to the dreaded penalty shootout. And but hopefully we can reverse the tables this time round.
Good folks at home, if I just may, Paulie, I've just got to give a bit of a spiel, but you know, last year, two of the greatest finals I've ever seen in memory between Bulleen and Port Melbourne. They finished 4-4 in the first game, went to penalties, 2-2 in the preliminary finals. We just said one each. They won one each on penalties, but they were extraordinary games. And I've got a real feeling, especially with bustling Billy out there, because he gets the glint in his eyes. He's not quite right. He's got the white line fever this week. But it will be a big-time ball game on Sunday, Paul.
Oh, it should be a great game, but one thing I'm interested in, Bill, is Giacorini came off the pitch. He was carried off, I think, by his teammates, not because he had a great game, though he did have a good game, because he was badly injured. Now, how's he shaping up?
Well, obviously we'll monitor his progress during the week. So obviously he will be more than likely seeking treatment tomorrow, and hopefully I'd like to think that Peter Ollerton will give him until the end of the week to prove his fitness.
Scott Patterson in New Zealand, or is he going to be in Melbourne for the game?
Yes, he'll be available for the following week against Port Melbourne. So obviously we're looking forward to him continuing his finals campaign.
Bill, what about the aspect of losing? Now, this was your 10th finals game in the last 4 years. Losing Robbie Krasic for the first time in a finals match, did that have any effect?
It was a bit of a blow, but we were quite fortunate to have, as I said, Pat Giacorini coming in as his replacement, and also Anthony Grabak coming into that role, which I thought he was, for me, one of the best players on the park today. Or I should say yesterday, but yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what sort of lineup we have for the following week.
Bustling, we've got to leave it there. Good luck for next weekend. You're going to stay with us just for a couple of seconds here, because we're going to do our first ceremonial pulling on the soccer show, a public pulling, Paulie.
It's got to be done.
Young Williams, as we finally take down. These are the props, good folks at home. It's television, it's a visual medium. Paulie, Sunshine George Cross, go on. They're up to this sponsors break. And perhaps have a look at the other big game of the weekend, and that, of course, was the major semi-final. Stay with us, won't you?